here we see an activity Plants and Friends, which is one of the most popular Green Steps Shanghai activities designed by Joanne. The library item is split into 5 categories. First is public information, then the part that talks about what educational content there is, then how to facilitate the activity with what equipment you need, what is the recommended schedule for the facilitator, and how you can how you can modify this best practice to run it at a different location, and some other tips on how to better how to teach it or lead the activity better. These library items at the current stage are public, all of them, but later on we're thinking to only have public this first page, which is basically the publicly accessible information that is then later used to create the events, and all the rest is only for the educators. So this is the first iteration of it, and we've got a lot of feedback on it from our own nature guides, and especially on the potential perceived complexity of the terminology. So in the next few months, we will be reiterating this and thinking how to make this more useful for organizations to structure and share their content. Yeah. So that's an overview of the library. By the way, everything can be multilingual. If I go back to the activity, they are probably not translated yet. You can translate them, and users can switch to Chinese or whatever other languages there are. And then later on, the idea is that from the library item, you tap the button of Create Event here at the bottom of the screen, and it works as a template for your events, which means it pre-fills most of the information of the description, the target ages, duration, what to bring, and so on. Yeah, so I recommend you. I will send you a link to this in the chat on Zoom, and yeah, later when I don't share the screen. And please check it out. Have a look and see whether this form of structuring learning content seems to be useful to you, and we are always happy for feedback. Yeah, are there any questions on the best practice library?
I have a question for the library, because you are building up quite a diverse range of courses and content. And if you work with other organizations and they will have maybe their own login, is there a way to, that some of your library is kind of available as a template? Or is it needed to start from scratch? Or how is it going with this whole organizational multi-login or not multi-login? How is that planned?
Well, the plan is that the library is open to all the educators on the platform, which means everybody who is community mentor or activity guide, whatever kind of higher status than just a learner, is able to see everybody else's library items. And so this is a public functionality.
So totally public, but what about if there are more than 100?
No, it's not totally public, Hans. It's not totally public. It's not a pro feature. It's a pro feature. You need to be a pro user to have access to those best practices. If you're just a learner, you don't see them.
I mean, those I understand, but I wonder if there are maybe more than 100 organizations on ARK, and there are teachers, pro users, and there will be so diverse contents in the library. Is that not a problem for scaling?
So there is a natural filter, or there are many natural filters. Filter number one would be that you choose content in a learning path that you're interested in. If I'm a bird nature educator, which I consider myself, then I will not be interested in DIY. So I set a filter. I only want to see content, best practices of this learning path. That would be one filter. Lucas, do you want to talk a bit about the rating system also?
Yeah, so first, there will be more filtering in terms of people will see which learning paths these items are and can just choose what they are interested in. To each library item, you assign a learning path, which means what is it about, let's say outdoor skills, and how many credits there are for it. And then this will be also visible in the library overview, and you will be able to filter here on the top. And at the same time, the educators will be rating the activities, and the system knows how many times somebody organized an event out of it. So then maybe we can have default sorting by the most popular activities, the most highly rated activities, things like that. Definitely the interface will not stay this flat view of everything sorted from newest. This is just the initial view that we have in here now. Yeah. So
okay, cool. Thank you. Understand.
Yeah, if you have a cool idea of how to structure this, how to do some kind of crossroad or like the starting page of the library, then please welcome to share. I could imagine like a first part of the screen would be the most popular activities, and then later on maybe from newest or highest rating, or maybe there could be some picked up suggested ones, something like that.
What maybe could be realized rather easily if we work with the filters, that the filters are saved per profile.
Yeah.
If a user account has a profile, it can pre-save, they can load it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Yeah, to save the user's filter preferences. Okay, so that's an updated view of the library. Please go and have a look. See what content we're already sharing in there. And the second big functionality that I wanted to show today is creating events on the platform. So if I go to the live platform, you can see that we already have a bunch of upcoming events in the live system. So there are Plastic Pirates in Austria that Knut is organizing. Then we have an upcoming training with Green Steps and the Spring Camp. So the first thing that I want to show is the admin overview of an event. So it's basically the first version of the administration panel, where the organizer can see how many tickets have been sold, for what price, how many additional tickets have been sold. You can see the revenue that has been generated so far by the event, and here you can see the bookings, when they were made, how much they cost, if they were paid. Some basic overview of the bookings, and in here the participants, and he can check them in, which means when they arrive, he can click the button, check in, then the user is checked in and can receive can receive the learning credits. So this is a basic version of the admin panel, and then let's have a look how to create an event. I'm gonna better do it from my local machine because we had some improvements today. There's just some. This is just some random content. Okay, so creating an event consists out of 7 steps. And you can see here on the top. First, you input the general information, then details about the event. Sorry about the cat. I don't know why she's so noisy. Details about more information about event that we'll see in a bit. In the third step, it's attaching the learning items from the library, unless then later on you create the event out of the learning library. Then setting up the schedule, which shows then for the participants, then setting up tickets for the event, setting up questions that will be asked to the participants when they are booking, and last step is preview. So let's create one. You can decide whether you want to create an event or a course. At the current stage, they are identical. You need to give it a name. So we were just watching Plants and Friends. So let's say Plants and Friends. Now, if you are a mentor in multiple communities, in here you will then select which community you want to create the event in. So I'm going to choose Green Steps Shanghai. And the organizer will be me, Lucas. Here, as we don't have a direct way to contact the organizer yet in the platform, as like a send a message, we added a field of contact, so I can put the phone and phone number. I can select the starting time. So let's say Monday 22nd at 1 p.m. and then here Monday 22nd to 4 p.m. And I can select the location. There's a database of locations in the system. You can select from here. I don't know, Agora Space in Shanghai. This needs to show also the address later on, as I realize now. If the location you want to select is not in here, you create a new location in here. All right, and here is a short description about the activity. Let's go and watch and get to know some plants. You can use formatting in here. You can insert pictures. And in here you add the cover picture of the activity. It will be used for it. So let's add this one from my recent kombucha workshop. Crop and preview. Okay, looking good. Here we go. Add a video. We don't support that quite yet. And yeah, next step is the details. So in here you select what ages it is for. So let's say, I don't know, 5+. What kind of things the participants need to bring. So I don't know, good shoes and good mood. What will be the main takeaways? These are all information that will be shown to the participants on the event page. So main takeaways, get to know Shanghai, Flora, and meet some new friends. And here is additional notes for in Green Steps. Even usually it's a very long description with details about what will be happening. A lot of information here. Okay, I can make it. And let's go forward. So in this step, unless you are creating an event from the library, which we don't have this functionality yet, but it's the next one to develop, you select the learning item. from the library. So you can search in here, and we are creating plants and friends. So yeah, plants and friends. Okay, you select it in here, and immediately you can see how it was designed. With how it was designed with 20 credits in botany and with 10 credits in zoology. Now, if you remember, we are planning to put in the ARK, the 10 credits are for 1 hour. So if your event is not for 3 hours but for 4 hours, maybe you want to do 20 credits for each, or you can completely change the learning path in here. And this decides what kind of credits the users will get, the participants will get after the event. And in the next step, you create a schedule. So say at 1, we will meet at the People's Park entrance. Exit 2. And then at 15, plants and friends walk starts. And you select that this is the plants and friends learning item that you just attached in the previous step. And we'll finish at 4. And okay, so this is our schedule. If this is a multiple day event, you can two. Okay. So you ticket, also 10 of them for 20 RMB, and then you have a bus ticket as a supplement. You have 20 of them. I'm sorry, 20 also for 10 RMB.
I want to have a SpaceX ticket.
Sorry?
I want to have a SpaceX ticket.
SpaceX? Okay, well, anything you want, Knut. SpaceX shuttle. But awesome. We only have one, and it cost 10,000 RMB. It's for the VIP. All right, and people are able to pay only by WeChat. You can also have cash payment. Alipay, we don't have it yet. Yeah. Here, refund policy. I don't know. You can say 50% 1 week in advance, and 0, no refund later. Basically, all of these things will be possible to inherit from previous events. So you'll be able to clone events and have your templates. So you will not have to fill this in for each of the events you are organizing. Okay, so these are the tickets and the refund policy. And here, the last but not least, you can ask your participant questions. So you can ask them their phone number is required. And maybe you can ask them something more, meaning of life. 42. And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the final step, which is the preview. So you can see what your event will look like, the name, the community, the date, the space and address. This is not here because it's not set up in this space. Who will be visible as the organizer, the contact, and here the schedule. Here you see one meeting, and here 1:15 we start plants and friends, and they will get this and this amount of credits, and it will end at 4. Here is the ticket overview on the right side, and here's the description and the detailed information of age range, duration, what to bring, and takeaways, and a lot of information down in here. And if you like it, everything's fine. If you want to check the mobile view as well, okay, looks good. Then let's go and publish the event. Bam. and it's online, but it's only on my computer. And how does it look for the people? This is so now first, as organizer, when you click the event, you get into the admin panel. You can unpublish it. You can go and edit it again. If you have no participants, you can delete and view the public page. Let's try to see the tickets page. Child, adult, bus, SpaceX, all of it is in here. Perfect. I want to book it right away with a bus. And the refund policy phone number. Meaning of life, yes, 42. And yes, I'm going. Now, I would be able to pay if this was the live system. But at this time, the booking already exists. And let's go to see it in the dashboard. You see Lucas has booked the event. Yeah, so this is it. This is 1 month of work. Of course, we have a bunch of other smaller things. For example, now we have functionality to change the password and other small things. Yeah, so anything about the event platform? Any questions? Knut, you're muted.
Just a quick question. So if you have this new event, what's the fastest way to promote it publicly, especially on WeChat?
Yeah, so you can share the link. Yeah. what do we
URL.
do?
Or, I mean,
yeah.
Just copy paste the URL. Okay.
Yes. So what we usually do is we make a poster, right? And the poster contains a QR that leads directly to the event. And so people book directly in WeChat. Then, of course, when you open the page in WeChat, you can share it from the WeChat browser, and then it has this kind of preview box.
Maybe also feedback to Hans, because he has also been active in China. We were considering to do a WeChat mini app. Some people actually pushed us into this, but then we would have been really dependent on the WeChat infrastructure and environment, and we don't want this. So this is why we started with a standalone solution.
Yeah, that's great, and I surely endorse that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Actually, like after all, if it is needed, then the stack that we are writing the app in, which is React, there are tools to help to make the mini app quite easily. So it's definitely a possibility to make it into a mini app. In the end, the main advantage that I see in mini apps is that you can have them open next to WeChat, right? It has a separate window. But besides that, it doesn't really give you that much added functionality. Of course, for the users, it's also nicer that they have it with the other mini apps, like directly accessible. Yeah. So these are the two main advantages that they are.
Goody?
I have a question in regard to who is now able to use the pro functions. So you need the permission for the account, right? So if I sign up and I select, you can always select when you sign up learner or professional. But if I select professional, it doesn't mean immediately I can do all this.
So we are actually in the process of defining this. There are better user guidelines, which I think till now we have only shared with Patrick. Patrick has signed them, but we have better user guidelines, and everybody who is basically conforming to these better user guidelines is also entitled to set up a pro account.
All right.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to share something about this also in the next slide. So,
okay, just last question. So it means then that the permissions will be given by you manually to the person who needs it?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
Currently, yes. Yeah. I mean, we have an automated system later on, but if Anna is anyway going to talk about it, then
let's go to the next.
Yeah. So for who is going to be better user at this stage, and I would say this is going to last until September, 6 months, about 6 months. You will have all the functionalities that we allow. Okay. Any other questions in regard to Luca's presentation? I just want to summarize. It's amazing, you know. John and me have been tinkering with so many event platforms, completely blown away. We have now our own event platform because we realized that what is available on the market is not really great and doesn't serve our needs. So this is really a major milestone. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Maybe then, Anna, I made you the host already. Yeah, just of course we don't have the final decision on this yet. But it will be as soon as you are the community mentor, as you have the community, then in the community management you will be able to enable your other users to be event creators, content creators. Like that, you will be able to manage your users and give your members and give them user roles according to your needs. Yeah. So it is not like a centralized thing. That it has to come from us. Just to make it clear.
Okay, so if there are no other questions, I'm gonna go back to the presentation. Okay. Okay, so what's next for beta users? So for you, what we ask you basically is to try the pro functionalities, and these basically are creating a personal profile that would be the educator profile. Create a community it's a functionality that's going to be available after our next call on the 10th of March. Create an event or a course, and create your best practice from any activity that you currently are offering. So you should have already created a personal profile. If you haven't, no problem. We can do that together, or you have time anyway to create your own profile. And just going a bit more in detail, so how or when can I try to these functionalities that I just shown you? Basically, I would say after the 10th of March, so that we have all the functionalities available. And how is it going to work? First, we're going to set a one-on-one call with us. So it's going to be you or someone from your team and 1 or 2 people from us. Then second, we're going to introduce and try to gather during the call one functionality. So for example, create an event. During this session, we're going to collect your feedbacks and questions and probably try to answer to most of them. And finally, after we have had this session, you're going to have the functionality unlocked in your profile. So this is, I think, the easiest way for all of us to move on with trying the platform. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have questions on this point, on the process, or any comment. Otherwise, I'm going to hand it over to Knut, who's going to show you the timeline. No? Okay. So then probably Knut may want to talk about the timeline with more detailed dates and steps.
Yeah, it's only very quick. So we still have here the Lu Xun quote. We hope that we tread a new path in the countryside, which is not visible yet, but it's soon going to be a highway for education and sustainability. So what you see here is ARK Alpha, ARK Beta, and then production version. I was told this is usually how software development is separated in 3 phases. So by March 22nd, spring equinox, we would like to share with the beta users the functionalities you have just seen and a little bit more. And then the Hupu Summit has been delayed to July. This would be, I'm sorry, there's actually a typo. This would be ARK production version in the EU, 1st of July. And on the 1st of October, ARK production version for China. We plan to also have a Hupu Summit in China in fall. And then after fall, we plan to go into the crowd production. So whoever contributes to the open source is welcome to contribute. And what you see in the circle is the +3, +7, +7 is basically the beta user communities. Currently, it's only 3, but Hupu Summit, we're gonna have 7 more, and I actually see already that we're gonna have a couple of more. So there will be quite an exponential creation of learning communities until the end of the year. That's it in short. Yes.